Before I introduce the beginnings of newspapers in San Benito County, it is important to know some history about San Benito County itself. This is because much of the history of the newspapers of San Benito County was related to the general history of Hollister. San Benito County did not exist until February 12, 1874. This area was originally part of the Monterey County. However, development of the city of Hollister would pull the area of San Benito away from the Monterey County. The city of Hollister would be founded by Colonel W. W. Hollister and Dr. Thomas Flint after they would find land for both their crops and their animals. Through these events, the city of Hollister would form, and it would start the development of many new publishing companies throughout the county. These are the records of the earliest newspapers that were published in San Benito County. They are currently in the research room of Wapple House Museum. The earliest newspapers that are kept here goes back to 1880. Sadly, it was unavailable to be opened, therefore there are no pictures of the San Benito's earliest newspapers. All the records here are of only the Evening Freelance, which later turned into the Hollister Freelance. Actually, the first newspaper to form in the area what we call today as San Benito County was published before the establishment of the entire area. This newspaper was called the Monterey County Journal, and it was located in San Juan Bautista from 1864. Afterwards, more newspapers would form in San Juan Bautista, such as the Central Californian in 1869, the San Juan Star in 1871, and the San Juan Echo. These would be much of the major local newspapers before San Benito County would be established. The first San Benito newspaper, the Hollister Advance, would be founded by William Shaw, who would come from Australia with his family in March 15, 1872, around the same time as when Hollister would be established as a city and as a county seat of the San Benito area. It was only for a year in which it was the only newspaper in San Benito, however. In October 18, 1873, John McGonigal would come from Idaho and establish the Hollister Enterprise. This would later become the Evening Freelance. In August 31, 1876, George W. Carleton and J. H. Upton would establish the third major newspaper in Hollister, called the Hollister Telegraph. This picture is from the beginning of 1900, and it is a photo of a then Evening Freelance publication. This company was published in a building on the southwest corner of San Benito Street and Briggs Alley. This picture is one of the early newspaper printing presses of the Evening Freelance. It is currently at the San Benito Historical Park. The Hollister Advance, the Hollister Enterprise, and the Hollister Telegraph would all heavily compete with each other in terms of getting consumers in the San Benito County. This rivalry between the Hollister newspapers would be highlighted by an encounter between the editor of the Enterprise, Sylvan Brummett, and the editor of the Telegraph, George Carleton. On the February 12, 1880, Carleton would shoot Brummett to death for an unknown reason. Carleton would be acquitted for his crimes, however he would leave Hollister for the rest of his life. This controversy would cause both the Enterprise and Telegraph to be sold to John S. Hay. He would name this new company the Pacific Coast. In December 1881, this company would be renamed by W. J. Jones and A. J. Jones, the Hollister Democrat. And then in 1883, it would be renamed again into what it is still called today, the Hollister Freelance, or the Evening Freelance, after it was purchased by Baldwin. Here are a few pictures of Hollister's earliest and still operating newspaper. Through the next couple decades, San Benito newspaper would become numerous both in San Juan and Hollister. However, in 1911, Millard Hoyle would become the owner of the Freelance, and he would purchase all of the neighboring newspapers in Hollister. He bought the Hollister Bee, the Jeffersonian, the Independent, the Hollister Hesperian, and the first and major rivaling newspaper, the Hollister Advance, from the Shaw family. After Hoyle passed away in 1941, his son Millard Hoyle Jr. would help grow the company much more into a major paper in the county. Eventually, it would be sold to McClatchy newspapers in 1981, in which it worked with the Gilroy Dispatch and the Morgan Hill Times. On the other hand, in San Juan, there would be many major newspapers like the San Juan Bautista Echo, the Voice of San Juan Bautista, and the San Juan Mission News. These papers would be printed during the mid to towards the end of the century. During this development, another paper in Hollister would start to be published in 1999 named The Pinnacle. Both these papers would be the main news source for Hollister until 2013. In the past 2 decades, the Hollister Freelance and The Pinnacle has won many awards for their work, as they have multiple awards on topics like investigative reporting, sports, etc. Today, a major paper that operates today is The Freelance. It still prints papers daily for many people across the county, and holds a significant position in providing news for its residents. However, one major aspect that has changed is obviously the use of the internet. Not only does the Freelance print papers, but it provides plenty of news online on its website, sanbenito.com, along with its partner, the San Benito magazine. Thank you for watching this video about the history of the newspapers in San Benito County. Hope you learned much more about this topic. Again, thank you to the San Benito Historical Society for providing all of the information for this project.